Goeiemorgen mense. Okay, Monday the 19th of July. We're between two cold fronts. From tomorrow, I think the day after, Pretoria is going to see as low as -3 or 4, if I recall correctly. It's going to get cold again for a second time. And it's time for you Kikuyu guys to laugh at me for a bit. And that is because my Bermuda has started checking out. Now if you look at it sort of generally speaking, you'll see that there's still like a greenish tinge over most of it, but that's unfortunately the little bit of green that's left in the Bermuda and or Kikuyu and or where I've top dressed doing patchwork like down this center dipped drain line here and over there for example. So this little bit of green is the Kikuyu and the going brown is the common Bermuda. Now granted it is common Bermuda, so the newer better cultivars of Synodon, which is Bermuda, so Kikuyu, the better versions of it should do much better than this. Not should, they do much better than common Bermuda. So we can't really work on this as being the be all and end all, because if you buy a new Bermuda variety, it's probably going to be like a Princess 77 or what's the new version now, R15. I don't think that's in the country yet, but Princess 77 is, and that'll be way better than what I've got here as common Bermuda. So who then is the winner in this Kikuyu vs Bermuda series? Well, I don't know. Firstly, we've got to see what happens when I pull everything out of what may be proper dormancy come early spring. So in the next actually 2 or 3 weeks I'm going to start. Only then we'll really know. But for now, the definite most obvious thing is that Kikuyu stays greener for longer. However, Bermuda has, common Bermuda in particular, so the worst of them, has way less ups and downs versus the Kikuyu. The Kikuyu gets chlorosis, then it's got some fungus, then it's like saggy, and the Bermuda just is at full steam from spring, summer, autumn. It grows at a pretty steady pace, a little bit faster, and you know, when there's good heat and rain, then it grows a little bit faster. But it was much more manageable for me than Kikuyu. Doesn't mean that that's better. No, it just means that I like the Bermuda more because it gave me that shorter look, more tightly packed, and better. And I found that I had less weeds in it. As I just mentioned, there was less trouble with it. But now it's brown first. So in a warm region like mine, or warmish region like mine in Pretoria, and in the east of Pretoria in particular, if I had committed to a full Kikuyu yard, I could go straight the way through winter and have green 24/7, 365. Whereas I don't think that I'll be able to do that with Bermuda. Does that matter? I don't really think so. I mean, if I went with a cool season grass here in Pretoria, then in the middle of summer I'd have some sort of summer, heat stress related dormancy that will happen on a cool season grass like a perennial rye or something like that. They'll start to conk out in the Pretoria heat. So there's pros and cons to all of this kind of stuff. I just wanted to give you this little bit of a quick video on the fact that I've been teasing the Kikuyu for the last year, but yeah, it's definitely what's winning now in winter, so I'll give it that for now. Alright, so let's summarize the findings very loosely. Now, I'm not going to give you all the details, just the stuff that actually sort of matters for me. Both have good color. Bermuda is finer. It's obvious you find her in every spec sheet. What are the things that you don't really find on the spec sheets? Well, the very first is that the common Bermuda, which is the worst of them, is the most stable. As I brought it up before, it was my nuisance with Kikuyu. Bermuda is more stable between the two of them, and I mean that from spring, summer and autumn. In the growing season, the Bermuda does not get chlorosis and have these ups and downs and this and that and the one problem, other problem. No, it's growing too fast and I get scalped, this, that and the next thing. It didn't have that, whereas the Kikuyu did. However, the Kikuyu, in these times where it goes dormant, so for example now when this cold front came in, it did also start to change, where I thought, okay, everything's going start going dormant. The Bermuda is staying in this kind of half dormant look. It's not fully brown yet, but I think it's on its way. So it started shutting down. The Kikuyu, the minute that we got heat again over the weekend, it instantly came back. So that's its strong point. So it's more unstable, but has the ability to recover from its dormancy very quickly. Not kind of sort of quickly, like immeasurably, very, very quickly. It just needed, and I think this is where a lot of guys make mistakes, and it's what I would have brought up in previous videos, is that the issues that you guys mostly see up here on the high fault in particular with your Kikuyus going dormant early is because of drought-induced dormancy, not the cold. So in this circumstance, if I had left this ground dry and it didn't have a little bit of nutrition happening, the Kikuyu would maybe be conked out now as well. Probably, because our whole area is just like brown felt everywhere. All the yards. There's me and one other guy who like to compete down the street, and that's it. We're the only guys who've got front. I mean, I didn't even show you in this whole winter. I don't think I've shown you my roadside because it looks like summer. The roadside is green, and I think it's because of that little, can't call it a microclimate. It's more like a nanoclimate. It's even smaller than a micro. It's just that little roadside section there is protected against the road. There's a little bit of extra warmth in the trees and the wall and whatever else. But I'm not going to show you that because you learn things by seeing negatives. You don't learn things by seeing a perfect lawn all the time. It just means that the soak's managed to, maybe he's got a great foundation, all these things that you perhaps don't know. It doesn't help you to see lawn perfect all the time. It helps you to see problems, because that's what you are probably watching a YouTube video for, is to find a solution to a problem. So I've got to leave sections of my yard with problems so we can fix them and act normal. You know what I mean? Be normal about this whole lawn adventure. At some point, though, we want that perfect prize. For me, the perfect prize is I don't want to have to mow 6 times a week. I don't want to have to put down plant growth regulator. I don't want to have to put down any chemicals that I don't have to put down. I don't want to. I want to enjoy my mow. I don't want to mow a couple of days too late, and like with Kikuyu, it's grown so much that now I'm going to sculpt my lawn. I don't want to have to reset a height of cut as often. For me, that takes me to the Bermuda side. You know what I mean? So maybe it's a bit of a lazy man way of thinking, but if I want a better lawn for longer, so where I don't have to take it out of action by sculpting it or whatever the case is going to be, then it's still Bermuda for me. The Kikuyu had to be. It was like you had no choice. You had to. The Bermuda, I could change those heights of cuts just a little bit, and it came back quickly in the growing season. Anyway, I've got some interesting video stuff coming up. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, definitely if you're new to the channel, because in the next couple of videos I'm going to be doing some stupid stuff. I've got an idea that I want to over apply a product at the wrong time, and I mean severely over apply it, more than double. I'm actually thinking 5 times the recommended dosage, and let's just see what happens. I mean, use me as the guinea pig. And yeah, cool. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.